Today, we're going to teach you how to become a lockdown defender. So before we get into the techniques, we're going to give you the tricks and techniques that are going to really give you an advantage. But here's what you got to understand. It starts with a commitment to yourself. You can have all the mind knowledge in the world, all the technique in the world, all the athleticism in the world, but if you don't start with a commitment to yourself, not to your coach, not to your teammates, not to your parents, not to anyone else, a commitment to yourself that you are going to be a lockdown defender, you've got no chance. It starts with a decision that I'm going to do this every single game, open gym, pickup game, one-on-one game, practice when I don't feel like it, playing a good offensive player, playing a poor offensive player. I am a defender. I am a lockdown defender. Lockdown defenders are made. They are not born. So don't even watch this video any further if you aren't willing to make that sacrifice to be great. But if you're still watching, here are the tips that will allow you to become locked down. So here's the first one. I'm going to put Jason to the perimeter right here. A lot of coaches have told you you've got to be in a low stance on defense. Every coach says that, and yet every player tends to stand up on defense. So maybe it's just a lack of definition. You don't know what it means to be low. If Jason's ready to attack me, go ahead and get in a nice stance. Right now you see that Jason's head is below my head. The constant self-check for am I low enough is my head needs to be below Jason's head. So if Jason stands up a little bit, I can stand up a little bit. If he goes into his attack, I got to get lower here. If you go into your next practice or game just constantly playing the height battle, watching head height, all of a sudden you just became a better defender. Here's another thing. You're going to foul less. When you play tall defensively, it's easy to get called for a blocking foul. But when you're low, there's less mass with which to block. You're much harder to get by and you get a lot wider. Here's the second part of body position. Imagine Jason and I are trying to race to the front rim. So many defenders play so far off an offensive player that they have no chance of winning the race to the front rim. If Jason and I are racing to the front rim, and don't go yet, but to start, I've got to run forward and then go back to the rim, I'm going to get blown by every single time. Playing off someone means you have to react to pass fakes and shot fakes, and at some point, you've got to move towards them. The moment you move towards someone, you are beat. So body position isn't just about height. It's about playing close enough to touch. Close enough to touch. Now, if you change the distance you guard someone because of their speed, or you just back off someone because they're a bad player, you're forming bad habits. You want to be arm's distance, head below, all the time, making good habits. So here's the next thing we're going to talk about, hand position. Now, you've probably at some point been told that you need to keep your hands up on defense. I'm here to tell you that that's wrong on the ball in certain situations. If I'm guarding Jason and he has a live dribble, meaning he hasn't used his dribble yet, I never, ever want to stand up and get my hands up above my head because I'm putting myself in a position to get beat. As long as he has a live dribble, I want to keep my hand at shoulder height. So as I'm guarding Jason here at the live dribble, I keep my hand at shoulder height. From shoulder height, if he does go in to take a shot, I can still raise it and contest. If he does go to make a pass over my shoulder, I can still raise it and contest. But I never want to actually extend my hand over my head when we have a live dribble. Second part of hand position, I want to take one step back. When the person you're guarding is dribbling, you actually want to keep your hands low, not high. You want to keep your hands low because low hands allow you to be balanced and move laterally quickly. High hands raise you up and make you slow laterally. Also, when Jason's dribbling, the ball's low. Here's another pro tip. Low hands, palms up. As Jason's dribbling, if I play low hands, palms down, I'm going to be constantly reaching, which looks like a foul. And a clever offensive player like a James Harden or Joel Embiid, they know how to loop and hook your hands and get a free trip to the free throw line. But it's really hard for him to do that if I keep palms up and only slap up at the basketball. Lockdown defenders all have something in common. They dictate the action, they don't react. If you're reacting on defense, you're gonna get beat. But if you dictate, you can anticipate. Great defenders anticipate, not because they're guessing, but because they're forcing. So right now when I'm guarding Jason with a live dribble, he only has 3 things he can do. He can dribble to his right, he can dribble to his left, or he could pass or shoot it. 3 things he can do right here. So if I'm playing him straight up and I have to react to whatever he does, I'm going to always be a step behind. What I can do with my body position is I can take away 2 things and dictate the third. I can play him in such a way that I'm taking away the passes and shots by being close to him. With my angle, I'm taking away a right-hand drive. I'm dictating a drive to his left. I can anticipate it then and then battle him for something that I can predict. He can still choose to drive right, but he's not going to have an advantage doing it. He can choose to take a shot, but he's not going to have an advantage doing it. It's contested. You can also dictate what the offense does when they're on the dribble. Don't sit back and allow them to set up their favorite dribble move. Instead, you force them to their position of weakness. When Shane Battier was guarding Kobe Bryant, Houston Rockets versus LA Lakers in the Western Conference Finals, he knew he wasn't going to shut down Kobe Bryant. He just had to put him into his zones of least efficient offense. That's exactly what you're doing. With Jason right here, he's probably going to be less efficient as a right-handed player attacking to his left. So I actually want to get into him, force him to his left hand, and then battle him for it, as opposed to letting him set up his favorite move or set up and run his offense. Be the aggressor on defense, dictate the action, don't sit back and react. All right, if this info helped you out, please click the like button, subscribe. And if you want to experience the only 4-in-1 camp, to find a session near you, click the link in the description below and we'll see you this summer.